Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in today to another episode here at Airbnb Rental Empire. Today I want to talk to you guys about cheap amenities that you're able to add to your properties that go a long way with guests in terms of getting 5-star reviews and having satisfied people stay at your properties. So let's dive right into it. The first thing that I like to put at all my properties, which is a very cheap amenity and something that goes a long way, is board games. Board games are amazing. People value them and they are very cheap to buy on Amazon. I typically buy Scrabble, I buy Monopoly, I buy Uno, I buy cards, I buy whatever other games are under, outside of those core items right there. I'll often buy some random game that I've never even heard of and it's on sale for $6. You can get all kinds of different board games for very cheap on Amazon and have those things delivered. So that is a cheap amenity that goes a long way towards people appreciating, especially sometimes people are going out, they've been exploring the town and then they want to stay in one night. It's nice to not just be sitting around and staring at their phones, and they enjoy the fact that they can have the camaraderie with family and friends of playing board games. Now, item number 2 in terms of cheap amenities, I don't know if we consider this an amenity or a design feature, but what I like to put at nearly all my properties, assuming it's doable, are sail shades and cafe lights. This goes a very long way to make the outdoors more comfortable for your guests. I'm in Southern California, so you have a lot of sunshine, and the sail shade is something that blocks out the sun, obviously, on these sunny days in the middle of summer. People want to have a lot of sun, of course. That's why they come to California and come to the Los Angeles area in general, but people also want to have that shade. So I buy again, I'm coming back to Amazon. I buy those sail shades, the triangle ones, the square ones. It just depends on the layout of the property. And I'll put those up at most of my properties. All my properties, if they don't have sufficient shade, I will definitely hang those, and even some other properties I'll do it because it gives a very nice ambiance when it goes over the patio table that I always have outside. And then you hang the cafe lights underneath it, with a little bit of a droop to it. It really gives a nice feel and ambiance similar to something that you're going to find at a nice restaurant where they have an outdoor seating or a nice bar, in the back. It reminds me of, I always kind of think of like some of those bars in Austin. I think it's on Rainy Street or whatever it is, where all those bars are, they're like houses, and then they're also bars, and they have these awesome backyards. So I've stolen some aspects of things that I've seen over there and brought those to my different Airbnb properties. Now, in terms of amenities, item number 3 that is cheap and I like to present and give to guests of mine is 3 different methods of making coffee. Now, this can get a little bit more expensive because, for instance, item number 1 is going to be a Keurig. I always have a Keurig machine at all my properties just because of ease of use. I don't drink Keurig coffee. I think it's gross generally. But again, it's something that's convenient and you can use it. Everybody likes to have it in terms of it's kind of become an expected amenity to provide to your guests. So a Keurig machine is one, but I realize that a lot of people are like myself and they're not big fans of it. So I always provide a drip coffee machine as well. I buy these oftentimes at Costco, most of the time for like $40-50. Get a nice drip coffee machine with a glass, glass pot underneath it. Then people can have their fresh ground coffee if that's what they prefer. And then I add the third touch, which is for the real coffee aficionados. I give them a French press as well. Now that is like $11, $12, $15. And it's super overkill to me. It's not like you need to provide 3 different methods of making coffee, but for that final one, the French press, between the drip coffee machine, $50, and then the French press for $15, let's call it, I'm in for $65, and now I've presented a whole coffee corner to my guests. It goes a long way towards making people happy in the morning after a long night out with a hangover, which is often the case that you're gonna have at your Airbnb properties. Now, another amenity that I like to provide to all my guests at all my different properties are hospitality amenities. These are the little soaps and shampoos that you're going to find when you check into a hotel. I provide this at all my properties. I typically do, body wash, body wash, shampoo, and then I typically do like a facial bar, something like that. It's typically 3 different items. It's usually facial bar, body wash, and shampoo. And then I put those on a nice face towel, fold it into a little triangle, present it nicely, and that is a nice amenity that people are not necessarily expecting at an Airbnb, but it gives a nice touch and makes it feel like you actually care. Now, in that same vein, what I also like to provide to all of my Airbnb guests, which I did in the past and then I got away from it, and now I'm starting to get back into it because I really, as I've expanded to a lot of different properties, I want to get back on focusing on what things that I was doing when I had a smaller portfolio. And one of those things is providing snacks and little drinks for guests. This isn't something that's mandatory, but I like to do it. There's a couple different variety snack packs that I buy on Amazon, and I give my cleaners instruction to leave out like 6 pieces each. So I think it's like 2 bags of chips, 2 arbitrary, whatever they are, snacks. I don't know what they are. It could be anything from, you know, nuts to whatever, and then 2 bars. I typically go 4 out of those 6 are going to be kind of on the healthy side, and then my bags of chips are typically going to be Lay's or whatever, something like that, just kind of your standard stuff. And then I'm oftentimes providing 2 Pellegrinos along with that. It's not a huge amount, and it's not the cheapest thing because those Pellegrinos come out to be like $1 each. A lot of the times, but nevertheless, I think it goes a long way. You know, my properties are not super low end at all, so I'm charging a pretty premium nightly rate, and I think it's a nice touch for the guests when they check in and they see a little snack basket. A lot of times after a long day of travel, they've come into town, now they have a couple things, maybe they haven't gone to the grocery store yet, and they have a couple things they can snack on, and they're appreciative of that. Now, another amenity that I provide is at all my properties for sure is I provide a dedicated work area where people can work that need to have that space to be able to work away from home. I mean, obviously, COVID taught us, you know, that people aren't in the office as much anymore now, and people are working remotely. So I make sure that at all my properties, I provide a desk area with a comfortable chair. I also put a pencil holder, a notepad, and then I also put a desk pad on top of that. It gives a nice touch, and it really feels like, again, you care, and I like to show that in my photos also. I take a nice photo just of that area to show people that need to work from home that they're going to have the ability to do that, because I know that is something that I always look for when I'm renting an Airbnb is I need to have somewhere where I can work and work for an extended period of time comfortably. Now, the last thing that I'm going to mention here on the amenities in terms of things that I like to do at all my properties is I do a lot of chargers. This is important. We are in the modern age now. Everybody is connected to their phones. People have Kindles, laptops, and everything in between that they need to charge, and they don't want to not be able to charge these devices on a daily basis. So I typically provide, basically all of my bedside lamps have USB ports in them, and most of them also have 110 volts so they can plug in a laptop or whatever they want. Now, my desk that I just mentioned also, the desk area also has a lamp on it, which I forgot to mention, and that lamp typically has a USB plug on it also, so they can charge their phone while working. And then also in the vein of those plugs, I buy from Home Depot, sometimes I get them from IKEA, but the plug splitters, which basically turns a two device plug into a 6 device plug, and they're like $5, and I typically put those all over the property, so almost every plug has 6 different plugs in it, and that goes a long way towards people not having any issues charging anything. And also, I always make sure that people have, if the bedside lamp doesn't have a USB port or something like that, I'll typically have a 6-foot extension cord going from behind the bed to both sides so that there's at least the extension cord plugs are popping out on both sides under the nightstands. So those are some of the amenities that I provide to all my guests. It's been successful for me. I have over 2,000 reviews on Airbnb. I'm currently a SuperHost and have been a SuperHost for majority of the time I've been doing this. I have, I think, another over 1,000 reviews on VRBO, and I don't continue to slow that down at any point in the near future. So if you guys hopefully got a little bit of value out of this, maybe you guys have some ideas, maybe you guys have some other amenities that I didn't even think of, leave them in the comments because I'm curious to hear about them, and I'm always trying to improve my properties to make it better for the next guest. So if you guys haven't already subscribed, please do, and I'm looking forward to having you guys watch my next video, which is coming out soon. Thanks for watching.